Hey everyone, welcome to 59 Tops Friday presented by Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. We built the iconic 1959 Topps baseball set, and in this series, we're going through every card to talk about the players, teams, and people who made up Major League Baseball in 1959. Today, we'll cover cards 50 through 59 in the set. Card number 50 belongs to Willie Mays of the San Francisco Giants. 1959 was Mays' ninth Major League season between the Negro American League and the National League. Mays, who is 92 years old and will turn 93 in May of 2024, made his Negro League debut in 1948 for the Birmingham Black Barons. And for every day of the 75 years since, there has only been one acceptable answer to the question, who is the greatest living baseball player? It is Willie Howard Mays, Jr. The Say Hey kid grew up in the dugouts of his father's Alabama semi-pro team, and he garnered attention from Major League Baseball teams after his Negro League debut. Mays wowed the world from day one. His all-around baseball talent is unparalleled in history. There was nothing Mays couldn't do on a baseball field. He hit for power and average at elite levels. He could steal bases. He was a brilliant, instinctual baseball savant who saw things on the field no one else could. And he was the greatest defensive outfielder ever. An entire generation of kids impersonated his basket catches across the globe. His feats were endless. He won National League MVP awards 11 years apart. He appeared in 24 All-Star games, second only to Hank Aaron. He won 12 Gold Gloves, the most in history for an outfielder. He retired with the third most home runs in history at 660, and he's one of few players with over 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. In 1961, Mays hit 4 homers in a game. No one else in the current top 15 all-time career home run hitters ever did that. During Game 1 of the 1954 World Series, Mays made an over-the-shoulder grab to rob Cleveland's Vic Wertz of extra bases, and a catch so extraordinary, so memorable, so indelible, that nearly 7 decades later, it is remembered simply by 2 words: the catch. Al Rosen, who was on first base when the catch happened, later said, quote, "Playing against him, you had the feeling you were playing against someone who was going to be the greatest of all time," close quote. Rosen knew then what we know now. Willie Mays is the greatest baseball player to ever walk the earth. Card number 51 belongs to Rip Coleman of the Kansas City Athletics. 1959 was Coleman's 4th season in the major leagues. Coleman broke in with the Yankees in 1955 and threw 1 inning in that year's World Series against Brooklyn. He pitched for the Yankees again the next year before he was involved in a big trade with the A's just before the 1957 season. Coleman threw 41 innings for Kansas City in 1957, spent all of 1958 in the minors, and pitched 81 innings mostly out of the A's bullpen in 1959 before he was claimed by Baltimore. He pitched briefly for them in 1960 but did not appear in the majors again after that. Coleman was a revered local presence in his hometown of Troy, New York, and he later settled in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Card number 57 belongs to Coot Veal of the Detroit Tigers. 1959 was Veal's 2nd MLB season. A 2-sport star at Auburn University in baseball and basketball, Veal was a light-hitting, strong-fielding middle infielder who debuted in Detroit in 1958. Later, he was selected by the expansion Washington Senators franchise that started play in 1961. Veal had the first at-bat in the history of the franchise, which would eventually become the Texas Rangers in the 1970s. Veal played briefly for the Pirates and then Detroit again in 1963 before hanging up his spikes. He hit .231 in 247 MLB games. Card number 53 belongs to Stan Williams of the Los Angeles Dodgers. 1959 was the 2nd MLB season for Williams. During this year, he threw critical innings for the Dodgers as they vied for the National League pennant. Williams later tossed 2 scoreless innings against the White Sox in the World Series. In 1960, he tossed 207 innings and made both NL All-Star teams with an even .3 ERA. He was dealt to the Yankees for Moose Skowron following the 1962 season and pitched against his old team in the 1963 World Series, throwing 3 shutout innings. Williams later pitched for Cleveland, Minnesota, St. Louis, and Boston in a 14-year MLB career. He then spent the same number of years as a major league pitching coach for Boston, the Yankees, the White Sox, Seattle, and Cincinnati. Williams was also an advanced scout for the Nationals and Rays, and in total spent over 50 years working in baseball. Card number 54 belongs to Mel Roach of the Milwaukee Braves. This was the 5th MLB season for Roach in 1959. A utility bat who played across the field, Roach only appeared in 15 big league games from 1953 through 1957, missing 2 full seasons due to military service during that time. He was on the Braves roster for the 1957 World Series championship, but did not play. Rose was expected to take over as the Braves' full-time second baseman in 1958, but a knee injury derailed what looked to be a promising career. In addition to the Braves, he saw limited time in MLB with the Pirates and Cubs before retiring. Roach later worked in the banking industry for 25 years and was an avid golfer. Card number 55 belongs to Tom Brewer of the Boston Red Sox. 1959 was the 6th major league season for Brewer. He enjoyed a mostly solid career in the majors as a starter, pitching 8 seasons, all with the Red Sox. Brewer's best season was 1956, when he went 19-9 with a 3.50 ERA in 244 and a third innings pitched, earning American League All-Star honors. Unfortunately for Brewer, he did not pitch well in that year's All-Star game and surrendered a homer to Stan Musial. He developed a sore shoulder in 1961, was released by the Red Sox at the end of that season, and did not pitch in MLB again. Brewer then worked for the South Carolina Probation Office for 25 years and was his high school alma mater's pitching coach. Card number 56 belongs to Carl Sawatski of the Philadelphia Phillies. This was the 7th season in the big leagues for Sawatski, a strong minor league hitter whose talent never quite translated to the majors. Sawatski caught for 5 different teams: the Cubs, White Sox, Braves, Phillies, and Cardinals. He missed 2 full seasons after being drafted into the Army in 1951 and wouldn't be a productive player in MLB until 1959. Sawatski hit .293 with a .392 on base as a backup catcher in 1959 and was traded to the St. Louis Cardinals after the season. He spent 4 years as a backup there and then retired. Sawatski was then the GM of the Cardinals' Texas League affiliate in the 1960s and 70s, and was later the Texas League president for 15 years. Card number 57 belongs to Al Cicotte of the Cleveland Indians. 1959 was the 3rd MLB season for Cicotte. The great-nephew of Eddie Cicotte, one of the 8 members of the White Sox banned from baseball for life for throwing the 1919 World Series, Al Cicotte had a nondescript 5-year career pitching in the majors. He appeared in games for the Yankees, Senators, Tigers, Indians, Cardinals, and the expansion Houston Colt 45s. Notably, while pitching in the International League in 1960, Cicotte threw an 11-inning no-hitter. Card number 58 belongs to Eddie Miksis of the Cincinnati Redlegs. 1959 would have been Miksis's 15th season in the majors, but 1958 was actually his final year. Miksis made his career as a longtime utility man, most notably for the Brooklyn Dodgers from 1944 until 1951. He appeared in the Dodgers' losing efforts in the 1947 and 1949 World Series, with the most famous play of his career coming in Game 4 of the 47 series. Yankee hurler Bill Bevins was on the verge of throwing the first no-hitter in World Series history when Miksis pinch ran for an injured Pete Reiser with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th in a tie game. Pinch hitter Cookie Lavagetto smacked a double, and Miksis scored the winning run all the way from first base. Miksis also appeared in the majors for the Cubs, Cardinals, Orioles, and Redlegs. Card number 59 belongs to Irv Noren of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1959 was Noren's 10th big league season. Noren broke in with the Senators in 1950 and was their regular center fielder for 2 seasons, snagging a few MVP votes each season and hitting .287 and driving in over 85 runs both years. But early in 1952, he was dealt to the Yankees. Noren wasn't going to play much center in the Bronx thanks to a guy named Mantle, so he backed up in the outfield and a little at first base on the teams that won the 1952 and 1953 World Series. He was an AL All-Star in 1954. Later, Noren played for the A's, Cardinals, Cubs, and Dodgers. After his playing career, he was a minor league manager, a major league scout, and was Dick Williams' third base coach on the 1972 and 1973 World Champion Athletics. That's going to do it for this edition of 59 Tops Friday on Wax Pack Wisdom. We wanted to share a programming note before closing. This will be the final 59 Tops Friday of 2023. We will be back with our next edition on January 5th, 2024. We wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season. Do you have a story about one of the people, players, or teams we discussed today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. In the video description, you will find our source material for this episode, links to where you can follow us on all social media channels, as well as a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. Please consider a donation to one of them if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.